Clock, close enough. Y'all good? You want to call the roll, Massey?
Ms. Atkinson? Mr. Ferguson? Mr. Howell?
Here.
Mr. Lockwood? Mr. Munford?
Here.
Ms. Price?
Here.
Chair Davenport?
Here. Before we begin our hearing, unless there's any changes or additions to last month's minutes, a motion to accept them, please.
I so moved.
Motion by Ms. Price, second
Second.
by Danny. Mr. Munford.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Munford?
Yes.
Chair Davenport?
Yes. Before we begin our hearing tonight, our counselor, Mr. Hoy Hodges, will tell you what you have to do in order to get your request approved or denied. Mr. Hodges?
And Mr. Chairman, on all of these applications tonight, I want to make sure that the comprehensive plan is made a part of the record, that the joint zoning ordinance is made a part of the record, that the staff report along with any exhibits which may be attached to those reports should also be made a part of the record. We also need to swear in Amy Scott and Jenny Willoughby and recognize their qualifications as zoning administrators for the purpose of their testimony.
Do you ladies swear to tell the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You see, the first couple of items tonight are requests for variances, and those are set by statute, and there are certain findings the board must make in order to prevail. You must establish that the requested variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, that it will not alter the essential character of the general vicinity, that it will not cause a hazard or a nuisance to the public, that it will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of the zoning ordinances. Everything else is a request for a conditional use permit, and those are set by section 3.9.5 of the zoning ordinance. The board must find that the conditional use permit is not detrimental to the public health, safety, or welfare in the zone in which it is proposed, that the requested use will not contribute toward an overburdening of municipal services, that the use will not constitute a nuisance, and that it adequately addresses the review criteria in section 3.9.4, and it's otherwise in compliance with the zoning ordinance, and in particular, the specific use standards that may apply to this property. Now, I mentioned the review criteria in section 3.9.4. That ordinance actually states that in order to prevail, you must adequately address the review criteria in section 3.9.4 as applies to the property. One item is compatibility. So the applicant has the burden of adequately addressing the issue of compatibility. If you do not, that in itself is reason for the Board of Adjustments to deny your application. In order to prevail on a variance or conditional use permit, you need a majority vote of those present. So that means you need an affirmative vote of 3 members tonight. A pass vote has no force or effect. If anyone's dissatisfied with the decision here tonight, you have 30 days to file an appeal, and that appeal will be filed directly in Warren Circuit Court. Mr. Chairman, I think that sums it up.
Thank you, sir. I forgot to mention this, but if you're here for the Larry and Coben Deaton request on Deaton Road, close to Dyford Road, that has been postponed or removed. There will be no action taken on that tonight. It may come up again in the future. If it is, you'll be notified. So if you're here for that, you're welcome to stay, but you don't have to if you don't want to, because we're not going to do anything with that tonight. All righty, our first request tonight, Manuel Dale and Paula K. Anderson have filed an application requesting a variance of 10 feet from the 25-foot building setback on the property located at 100 Delane, Flora Road. The property is zoned AG agricultural. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had a pre-application meeting June the 30th for the property that you mentioned, and is highlighted in red. Current zoning is agriculture. Current land use agriculture. I think that's a typo in there. We do have a couple of photos of the property for your reference. And then we have the variance exhibit, and then the plat for review. So with that being said, the applicants are requesting a variance of 10 feet from the required 25-foot building setback in the agricultural zone, so that an existing barn can be located 15 feet from the property line as a result of lot reconfigurations. And so I think that's where the photo comes into play to help see what that building is referencing. So looking down at the zoning ordinance reference, section 4.3.4, property development standards table, the building setback in the ag zone is 25 feet. Below that is the variance findings for your reference. Looking over at page 2, the applicants did supply a brief narrative for supporting evidence for granting the variance. Below that is a condition section. So if this application is approved, staff suggests the following condition. A revised plat must be submitted to staff for review, approval, or recordation in order to reconfigure the existing lot lines. And then looking back at page 1 to the points to consider, there are none pending any public hearing and testimony that we might have. That's all we have for a staff report. Okay. Be happy to answer any questions.
Does the board have any questions, staff? Any questions, staff? It's kind of just a cleanup thing. Just putting it
basically, it's my understanding the property is for sale, that the new owners would like to keep the accessory apartment there and not the ag buildings. And so they're trying to reconfigure a lot.
Very good. And are the applicants here? Okay. I keep looking for you all over. The board's all over here. Do y'all have any questions of the applicant? All right. Any opposition to this request? Any opposition? Motion, please.
I make the motion to approve the request for variance docket number 2025 V16. A variance of 10 feet from the required 25-foot building setback in the agricultural zone. Also would like to add a condition that a revised plat must be submitted to staff for review, approval, and recordation in order to reconfigure the existing lot lines. The testimony presented in this safety hearing has shown that the granting of this variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, will not alter the essential character of the general vicinity, will not cause a hazard or a nuisance to the public, and will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of the zoning regulations.
It's a proper motion.
All right. Motion, Mr. Howell, second by
I second.
Mr. Mumford.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Munford?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Chair Davenport?
Yes, your request has been approved. Thank you all very much. Our next request tonight, Mount Victor Homes LLC, Carol Jody Allen have filed an application requesting a variance from the minimum required building setback of 20 feet and a variance from the minimum 10-foot buffer strip required around the perimeter of each lot on the property located at 512 Old Lovers Lane. The property is zone RM3, townhouse multifamily residential. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. We had a pre-application meeting on July 30th for the property that you mentioned. The current zoning is RM3. The current land use is single-family residential. We have a couple of photos. And then we have the variance exhibit there. And again, the applicants are requesting two variances, a variance from the minimum required side building setback of 20 feet and a variance from the minimum 10-foot buffer strip required around the perimeter of each lot. This property is located within the Lovers Lane Overlay District. So if we look underneath the zoning ordinance reference, there are some different standards for that overlay district. Section 4.9.f.1.e, the minimum required side building setback shall be 20 feet. Therefore, one variance is a request of 18.5 feet from that required 20-foot, minimum 20-foot side building setback. And then section 4.9.f.2.a.3 for the landscape buffer, a minimum 10-foot buffer strip is required around the perimeter of each lot, and so the second variance request is for 8.5 feet from that required 10-foot buffer strip. Below that are the variance findings for your reference. Page 2 is kind of the middle point there. You can see the applicants did supply a narrative, and the board should consider if the applicant has adequately addressed the findings required for granting the variance. And looking back at page 1 to the points to consider, there are none pending public hearing and testimony. That's all we have for staff report. Be happy to answer any questions.
Does the board have any questions of the staff? Question of staff? I know the applicants here. Jody, we don't see you for years now. We can't get rid of you. Does the board have any questions of the applicant?
No.
Any opposition to this request? Motion, please.
I make the motion to approve the request for a variance, docket number 2025 V17, a variance of 18.5 feet from the required minimum 20-foot side building setback, a variance of 8.5 feet from the required minimum 10-foot buffer strip required around the perimeter of each lot. The testimony presented in this public hearing has shown that the granting of this variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, will not alter the essential character of the general vicinity, will not cause a hazard or nuisance to the public, and will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of the zoning regulations.
Proper motion.
Okay. Motion, Mr. Howell, and second by
I second.
Mr. Mumford.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Munford?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Chair Davenport?
Yes, your request's been approved, Mr. Allen. Thank you again. Good night. Our next request tonight, Eric Hurd and Fonda Hamlet, applicant and owner, and Harvey Hamlet and Sonia Hurd, owner, have filed an application requesting a conditional use permit to operate a short-term rental on the property located at 1270 Loving Road. This property is zoned AG agricultural. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had a pre-application meeting on July the 25th for the property that you mentioned and is highlighted in red. Current zoning is agriculture. Current land use is single-family residential. We do have a few property photos to share. And then this is the site plan that was supplied with the application. And again, the applicants are requesting a CUP to operate a short-term rental. And below that is a zoning ordinance reference, Article 5, Section 5.1, a conditional use permit is required to operate a short-term rental on property zoned agriculture. Below that are the specific use standards for a short-term rental for your reference. Looking at page number 2 to the supplied conditions. Number 1, a maximum of 5 rooms for rent. Number 2, rooms will not be individually rented. Number 3, maximum of 5 guest vehicles in the designated parking area. Number 4, quiet hours will be from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Number 5, there will be signage on the property not to exceed 20 by 24 to show the name and information. Number 6, if the property is ever sold or the applicant ceases the use, the CUP will be null and void. Below that are the conditional use permit findings for reference, and looking back at page 1 to the points to consider. The board should consider if the proposed use is compatible with the surrounding area, including the existing single-family residential uses located adjacent to the property and in the general vicinity. And the board should consider the impact on permanent workforce housing availability in this part of the county if the existing single-family residence is converted into a short-term rental. That's all we have for staff report. Be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of the staff from the board? All right. Are the applicants here? Could one of you come up? We've just got a couple of questions we want to ask. Who wants to be the spokesperson? You got picked, huh? That's all right. We'll need to swear you in. Will you give us your full name and address, please?
Fonda Ibn Hamlet. Address is 1216 Loving Road, Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Do you swear to tell the truth, ma'am?
I
Just a
swear to
couple
tell
of
the truth.
questions, and we do this on every short-term rental we come up with. This is agricultural, but it's pretty much single-family residential in there.
Yes, sir.
Do you think this is compatible with that area, that neighborhood in there? You see any issues with it?
I do, sir. I think it's compatible. That area is actually growing. I was born and raised there for the last 40 years. It has grown tremendously, so I think it is a good area for an Airbnb.
Do you think this would put a negative effect on the neighborhood there?
I don't think so.
Okay. And you're going to live close by this property,
I do. I actually live next door to it.
and you're going to stay there?
I will stay at 1216 and 12. This address is right next to it.
Okay, so that's what, yeah. And one other thing, the parking, is that on the side of the house or is that in front?
So we cannot do in the front because of the right-of-way.
Right.
So we will be doing 2 parking spots on the side, and then there will be 3 right there.
Okay.
Kind of at a different angle.
That's what, and there's plenty of room to back out and turn around where they do not have to back out on the road.
No, there's plenty of room. So these 3 that are right here, they'll be able to back out
Okay.
on the side and pull out, and then
Okay.
same with the 2 right here, they'll be able to back out and pull in, go back.
All right. Any questions from the board of the applicant? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Is there any opposition to this request? Any opposition? All right, motion, please.
I so move.
You need to kind of,
Read the, sorry.
can you find it there?
Thank you. I make the motion to approve the conditional use permit, docket number 2025-C-40 for a short-term rental with the conditions as presented in this report. The testimony presented in the public hearing has shown that the use is not detrimental to the public health, safety, or welfare in the zone in which it was proposed. The use will not contribute toward an overburdening of municipal services. The use will not result in increased traffic congestion, additional parking problems, substantial increase in population density, environmental problems, or constitute a nuisance. That the use otherwise meets the requirements of the zoning ordinance.
Proper motion.
Good job. Motion by Ms. Price, second by
Second.
Mr. Mufford.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Munford?
Yes.
Chair Davenport?
Yes, your request has been approved. Thank you all. Good luck to you out there. Appreciate it. You didn't all have to come down here, but we're glad you did. Thank you. Give you something to see for a change. All right, our next request tonight, Adam and Cora Massey have filed an application requesting a conditional use permit to operate a bed and breakfast on the property located at 1145 Ben T. Johns Road. The property is zoned agricultural. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had a pre-application meeting for this property on Ben T. Johns Road, August 5th of this year. The current zoning of the property is ag. Current land use is agriculture. And then here are some photos of the property for your reference. And a nice dog, too. And then there is their site plan. Looking down to the staff report, the applicants are requesting a CUP to operate a bed and breakfast in an existing accessory apartment on the property. Zoning ordinance reference, Article 5, Section 5.1 of the use table, a conditional use permit is required to operate a bed and breakfast on property zoned ag. Looking down, there are the specific use standards for a bed and breakfast on the bottom of page 1, and then we'll look over to page 2 to the conditions supplied by the applicant. 1, there will be a maximum of 1 room for rent. Number 2, a maximum of 2 guest vehicles in the designated parking area. Number 3, quiet hours will be from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Number 4, there will be no signage on the property. And then number 5, if the property is ever sold or the applicant ceases the use, the CUP will be null and void. The conditional use permit findings are below those conditions on page 2. And then we'll look back to page 1. There are no points to consider pending public hearing and testimony here tonight. And that's all that I have, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right. Does the board have any questions of the staff? Questions of the staff? Are the applicants here? The applicant? I think for the first time, we may not have any questions on this one. Does the board have any questions of the applicant? I'm sorry. I spoke for them too. Is there any opposition to this request? Motion, please.
I make the motion to approve the conditional use permit, docket number 2025-C-41, for a bed and breakfast with the conditions as presented in the staff report. The testimony presented in this public hearing has shown that, A, the use is not detrimental to the public health, safety, or welfare in the zone in which it is proposed. The use will not contribute toward an overburdening of municipal services. The use will not result in increased traffic congestion, additional parking problems, substantial increase in population density, environmental problems, or constitute a nuisance. That the use otherwise meets the requirement of the zoning ordinance, and I find it to be compatible with the neighborhood.
Yes, proper motion.
All right, motion from Mr. Howell, second by Ms. Price.
Mr. Howell,
Yes.
Mr. Munford,
Yes.
Ms. Price,
Yes.
Chair Davenport.
Yes, your request's been approved. Out of all the dozen we had, you're one of the very few that just kind of, that's a place to put it. Good job. Thank you. Good luck to you. Our next request tonight, BFLC Holdings LLC, care of Mary and Justin Jackson, I filed an application requesting to amend the current conditional use permit for daycare to include the operation of a school on the property located at 2896 Plano Road. The property is zoned AG agricultural. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had a pre-application meeting August 7th of this year for the property on Plano Road. Current zoning of the property is ag. Current land use is public institutional. And then here are some images of the site currently. And then there is their proposed site plan, which is also available in the packet. They are requesting to amend the current CUP for a daycare to include the operation of a school for students kindergarten through the 12th grade. The CUP for a daycare was approved in November of 2024. Looking down to the zoning ordinance reference, Article 5, Section 5.1 of the use table, a conditional use permit is required to operate a daycare and school on property zoned ag. The specific use standards for daycares are on the bottom of page 1 and then at the top of page 2, and then we'll look at their supplied conditions. Number 1, the hours of operation for the daycare will be from 6:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. Number 2, hours of operation for the Bluegrass Farms Christian Academy will be from 7:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. with an after-school program occurring from 3 to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, with the exception for special events, examples, fundraisers, fall festivals, etc. There will be a maximum of 120 children on the property, with a maximum of 25 children attending the Bluegrass Farms Christian Academy. The bottom of page 2 has the conditional use permit findings for your reference, and then we will look back to page 1. There's one point to consider. Staff made the applicant aware that at present time, the fence playground area for the approved daycare does not meet the specific use standard requirement, that the fence be 6 feet in height and contiguous with the building. And we will, it's an image of that area that we're referencing. The applicants have not addressed the deficiency as of the authoring of the staff report, and then that is all that I have for the staff report, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
So we're not really increasing the number of students, we're just changing the, from the original daycare, and about the same number of students? You remember?
So the original, the daycare was approved for 120 children. So that number still remains the same. They're just amending to add the use for a school in addition to the daycare.
Any question of the staff and the board? Applicant here? I just might want to have a couple of questions, just so we can get it on a record. And your full name and address, please?
Mary Jackson, and my address is 5840 Galloway's Mill Road, Rockfield, Kentucky.
You swear to tell the truth, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Defense, I just want to make sure you understand.
I do understand.
What you have to do with the
We
fence.
put in that fence December, November, and it has been approved by the Kentucky State Daycare Board.
Okay.
So we just have not been able to update it to the 6 foot, but the state daycare people have approved it.
Okay,
So we've
so-
had our licensing out there several times, and they've not seen any deficiencies with it.
Okay, so you're going to take care of the fence issue?
Yes.
All right, very good. Any other questions from the board of the applicant? Just wanted to clarify that.
The other question, I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
Say it's going to be a maximum of 120 children on the property with a maximum of 25 in the academy.
Yes, sir.
Is that 25 included in the 120?
Yes, like the total for the whole property, including like the daycare and the academy combined, would be the 120.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
How much was it before you submitted this?
It was still 120.
120,
Yes.
yeah, same number. Yeah. All right, any other questions from the board of the applicant? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Any opposition to this request? Any opposition? All right, a motion, please.
I make a motion to approve the conditional use permit docket number 2025C42 for a school with the conditions as presented in the staff report. The testimony presented in this public hearing has shown that the uses are not detrimental to the public health, safety, or welfare in the zone in which they are proposed. The uses will not contribute toward overburdening of municipal utilities. The uses will not result in increased traffic congestion, additional parking problems, substantial increases in population density, environmental problems, or constitute a nuisance. That the uses otherwise meets the requirements of the zoning ordinance, and it is compatible with it.
That's a proper motion.
Okay, motion by Mr. Howell, second by
Second.
Mr. Mumford.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Munford?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Chair Davenport?
Yes, your request's been approved. Good luck to you out there. Thank you all. Our next request tonight, Rocky Creek Farms and Real Estate, LLC, care of Crystal Marple, has filed an application requesting a conditional use permit to operate a short-term rental on the property located at 2593 Forks Road. The property is zoned AG agricultural. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had a pre-application meeting on August 11th for the property on Three Forks Road. The current zoning of the property is ag. Current land use is also agriculture. And then here are some photos of the property. And then there is their proposed site plan. The applicant is requesting a CUP to operate a short-term rental. The zoning ordinance reference, Article 5, Section 5.1 of the use table, a conditional use permit is required to operate a short-term rental on property zoned ag. The specific use standards for a short-term rental are on the bottom of page 1, and then moving over to page 2, we'll look at the supplied conditions. Number 1, there will be a maximum of 3 rooms for rent. Number 2, rooms will not be individually rented. Number 3, maximum of 3 guest vehicles in the designated parking area. Number 4, quiet hours will be from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. Number 5, there will be no signage on the property. And then number 6, if the property is ever sold, the CUP will be null and void. The conditional use permit findings are on the bottom of page 2. And then we'll look back to page 1. The Board of Adjustment should consider if the proposed use is compatible with the surrounding area, including the existing single-family residential uses located adjacent to the property and in the general vicinity. And that's all that I have, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Very good. Any questions of the staff from the board? I assume you're the applicant. You're the only one left in here. Does the board have any question of the applicant? Any question of the applicant? You're lucky too tonight. Any opposition to this request? Motion, please.
I make the motion to approve the conditional use permit docket number 2025C43 for a short-term rental with the conditions as presented in the staff report. The testimony presented in this public hearing has shown that the use is not detrimental to the public health, safety, or welfare in the zone in which it is proposed. The use will not contribute toward the overburdening of municipal services. The use will not result in increased traffic congestion, additional parking problems, substantial increase in population density, environmental problems, or constitute a nuisance. That the use otherwise meets the requirements of the zoning ordinance, and it is compatible with the neighborhood.
Proper motion.
Motion by Mr. Howell, second
Yes.
by
Second.
Mr. Mumford.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Munford?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Chair Davenport?
Yes, your request's been approved, ma'am. Thank you, good luck. That's a long ways out there. It's pretty out there, but gracious alive, it's a long ways out there. Yeah, you live right there.
We live 2.5 miles away, and our son has the main house on the same property.
Okay, yeah, it's beautiful out there. Good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any old business tonight? New business? We're adjourned.